a genuine or a positive doubt, and it's not the opposite of faith, it's the beginning of faith. It's not the opposite of faith, it's the beginning of true faith. And in fact, as we talked about at the beginning, Lee Strobel set out to prove Christianity wrong. And in his doubts about Christianity, he came to a true and living faith. Yes. So, today's lesson we talked about blind faith, and then we contrasted that with biblical faith. And I would submit that how we move from one to the other is if we have any doubts, we're going to examine them. We're going to look and we're going to build an evidence, build a foundation for us to move from a blind faith to a biblical faith. And that's how we're going to achieve our purpose from moving to a subjective, well, that's what I believe, to a defendable, reasoned faith in the Bible. All right, so our conclusion points for today. Our conclusion points. Blind faith is not biblical. Blind faith is not biblical. Biblical faith is actively trusting in what you have a good reason to believe is true. Actively trusting in what you have a good reason to believe is true. Faith and reason work together. They work together, not against each other. Correct faith involves a person trusting and a trustworthy object. The person trusting and a trustworthy object. Correct faith will result in action. It will result in action. And finally, positive doubt is not the opposite of faith. It's the beginning of faith. Positive doubt is not the opposite of faith. It's the beginning of faith. And some of you are looking over at that other sheet. And the line that says homework. Yeah! Woohoo! Yeah. This one's easier. All you got to do for homework this week is just read this. This is Francis Schaeffer and how he defines the difference between biblical faith and blind faith. Biblical faith and blind faith. So our key word to motivate us to do our homework, our key verse is study and be eager to do your utmost to present yourself to God approved. That means tested by trial. A workman who has no cause to be ashamed, correctly analyzing and accurately dividing. That means rightly handling and skillfully teaching the word of truth. Amen. Real quickly, I just want to share a story. Did any of y'all have a chance to put some of this to work last week? No? Well, some things are so coincidental you might think that God sovereignly put it together. I don't know, that's just me. But Jill was in her hair appointment, and hair appointments for us are a family ordeal because Chloe's getting her hair cut, and someone's got to watch Chloe. And so I was there, and I had taken Lydia over to Circuit City just to peruse. And while I was gone, her stylist sends his son to Northwoods Academy. And we were thinking about sending Chloe to Northwoods Academy. It's close. And he said, yeah, the only thing I'm concerned about is that I want him to have a real science class. And Jill said, a real science class? What do you mean by that? So we got to talking, and I came in kind of in the middle of the discussion. We were talking, and we didn't argue him into the kingdom. But he did stop raising arguments, and that was what we wanted to do. He was a polite scoffer. He wasn't in our face or ugly. But he had some certain questions, and I don't think we converted him. But every question that he had, we had a reasoned, defendable, logical answer. And at least it demonstrated that we've thought these things through, and it's not just a backward thought. So it's good that God puts these things in our life. Okay. All right, Chris, you listen to a word of prayer.